Welcome to the School of Physiotherapy and welcome to the School of Physiotherapy gym. We're in the Customs House building here where our gym was built a couple of years ago. This gym would probably be one of the premier teaching facilities for physio rehab in the country, if not the world. And I spend a lot of time here teaching. In fact, we've just finished a class, so why don't we go and check out what the guys are doing. So this is Jordan and Lelia. They're a couple of the physio students. They're in second year at the moment. And a big part of what we do here is we learn basic principles of strength and conditioning. But not only that, the important thing as a physio is to be able to apply those principles to patients that are injured or patients that have got chronic diseases. And so in first year, for example, we spend a fair bit of time learning the basic principles of how to do exercises such as the squat that they're demonstrating at the moment. And then in subsequent years, we learn how to apply those to different clinical populations.
I love physio here because the classes are small and the people here are very personal. So like the teachers and lecturers, they're always really willing to help you. Everything is on a first name basis. I love that. I didn't want to go to a uni where they had so many students. It was just like a number and you felt a bit lost. Here you're really guided and helped through the course, which I really love. The resources are fantastic. So with the new gym that we're in here, that's been great to like apply the knowledge that we're taught. So it's not all just theoretical. They give you a piece of paper and tell you, oh, this is what you're going to be doing. You're actually learning it firsthand in the labs as well, with them showing you how it's done, watching you do it, and then they can correct you. So that's really great how you get that hands-on experience.
So what have we got here? We've got 75 kilos plus 53, what's that, 128?
Yeah.
That should be pretty easy for Jordan. He's just doing a warm-up. That's good. How's that range of motion for you there, Jordan?
Not too bad.
And from a rehab perspective, you do it with two legs, even with the best will in the world in like a rehab setting, if you've got a problem on the one side, if you're doing it with both legs, you're always going to favour the better leg, even if you don't think about it.
Yeah.
So if we're making our patients do the single leg version of the exercise, then there's sort of no hiding from that. And it's really nice to do it on the leg press here because it's really safe, it's really well constrained, and we can load it quite heavy, so we can be working on that strength from quite an early stage.
So I've got a background in massage therapy and having some really good experience working with physios and seeing what they did, getting a bit analytical with injuries and learning a bit more about that. I wanted to further my career and kind of see what it was all about. I think the personal aspect of the uni really drew me towards it, kind of getting to know the staff before you even attended by going to interviews and learning a bit about the university was really good. And I really liked the campus life, the campus atmosphere. It's not your traditional kind of uni that you tend to see in Australia, but a bit more really chilled. I love Freo, it's a great place to be.
Okay, so that's a bit of a look around the gym. The school, we have numerous teaching facilities around the campus, and there's a couple of classes that are running elsewhere at the moment, so why don't we go and have a look at a couple of those. So we're now in one of the different physio buildings, and just in this room here, one of my colleagues, Simon, is teaching a class to some second years, all about physio related to the upper limb. I'm not entirely sure what's going to be going on in there, but why don't we take a look and find out. Knock, knock, Simon. So this is a fairly typical practical class that would be going on. As you can see, they're part way through just practicing some techniques at the moment. We typically have about 16 students in any given practical class with at least one of the tutors. And what will typically happen is in the course of a 90-minute to 2-hour class, the tutor will demonstrate some techniques. And then, as you can see here, the students then have the opportunity to practice those, and all the while the tutor will be wandering around and giving some feedback and refining the technique of that. And this is where you can find that the small class sizes really come into their own. The fact that each student gets as much attention as they need. And it's really important because it makes it an authentic experience for them. And as you can see from the techniques that are going on here, they're very hands-on, and some of them are actually really technically, some of them are quite technically difficult to actually master. So we spend a lot of time, we teach the techniques, we give the students the opportunity to practice, and we'll revisit them time and time again. And also the assessments that we build are purposely designed so that the students are being examined on the things that are going to be really important in that clinical setting where they're going to find themselves. In fact, there's every chance that these second year students who are going to be out on a prac in just a few weeks' time, that they'll be performing these techniques on patients in hospitals and other clinical facilities around Perth and actually throughout Western Australia as well. Okay, so that was one of the other teaching rooms that we've had a look at. What we're going to do now, as is most important when you spend any time in Fremantle, it's important to pick up a coffee. So we're going to go to one of my favourite coffee shops. I'm going to grab the guys a coffee, and then we'll go and check out one of the other classes that's happening somewhere else. As you can see, as we wander around, we've got this beautiful environment around Fremantle. We've got an amazing streetscape, and the campus is really built into the West End community here in Fremantle. So there's other businesses in adjacent buildings, and it's really nice that we as staff and the students get the opportunities. We get to know the people that are working in the restaurants. Everyone, not only do the students know their lecturers by first name, they also know their barista by first name as well, and many of the students work in the local establishments as well. So it's a really nice place to be. It's a very friendly community. So we stood outside the School of Physiotherapy building. This actually used to be a bank, and actually some of our offices are just adjacent to the vault, and my dean's office is where the old bank manager would have used to have sat. And anyway, the beautiful old building, and it's a really nice place to work, and it's a really nice place for the students to come and see us when they've got questions. I think we've still got time for a coffee. All right, let's go in. All right. So an essential part of the student and the entire academic experience, between classes, before classes, hopefully not too often during classes, we'll pop in here to get some caffeine to make sure that the studying goes as well as it can do. So we've come across campus now, and we're now in another class. This is one of the third year classes, and whereas in the previous class we were looking at the upper limb, this class is actually looking at the cervical spine, and Jenna, who's one of the tutors here, is just teaching the students how to go about retraining some certain muscles around the shoulder as it relates to people who've got neck problems. One of the really interesting things about the faculty here at the School of Physio is all of the academic staff have a really good mix of clinical practice and research experience, and also education. So what you can see is Gemma, who's actually taking this class. She's one of our PhD students, so she's enrolled. She's a physio working in clinical practice. She's enrolled here doing her PhD. And she's also involved in teaching some of the classes. So it's a really nice way that we get this flow through of experience with research, experience with teaching, and a really kind of vibrant sort of academic community. And I think it's something that it creates for a really authentic teaching experience for the students. The students are being taught by lecturers who are not only experts in their field, doing outstanding research in their field, really experienced with their teaching, but they're also out there working in clinical practice. Now I think Gemma was in the clinic this morning, and she's come in here to teach this class. They're off to the gym to do another class, and no doubt Gemma will be then hitting the books to do some work on her research. So that concludes our little tour of the Fremantle campus and some of the teaching facilities that we've got here in the Bachelor of Physiotherapy program here at the University of Notre Dame. Look, we're really proud of our program. The students really seem to enjoy it, and really importantly, our clinical partners really respect our program, and our graduates come out with a great education and really ready to get into the industry. Not only is the program really enjoyable for us to be involved with, and the students seem to enjoy it, but just being here in Fremantle in the West End is such a great place to come and study and to come and work and to just exist with the rest of the community. So I personally absolutely love being here. And with that aside, it's probably about time that I got back to work.